Greetings and greetings. God richly bless you. Thank you for joining in today's Kingdom Conversation, today's workout with me, your host, Puleng Kosisele, the Mind Surgeon. We are grateful for yet another opportunity to connect, to share, to learn, and grow. What a blast we've been having since the launch of our channel. It's just been such a blessing. Sometimes I listen back to what we've shared and think, wow, where was this when I was much younger? But it's here now, and we're here to enjoy it. Let me state the obvious. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you really, really, really like the session, please do go ahead and like the post. Just click the like button and comment on the session. Let's make some noise about what's happening here, because I believe the mysteries we are unpacking and the principles we are sharing are literally game changers. For some people, they may be a lifeline, especially as we navigate this decade of disruption and perilous times. I want to pour out my heart, share my very best with you, and we get to do that every week. You'll notice my voice is a little husky today, so that's the voice we're going to work with. Today's workout session is set to be transformative. It's packed with insights and revelations that I believe will enhance your understanding significantly. My goal is to lift the veil and provide you with a clearer perspective leading to a paradigm shift. I hope you can leverage this newfound clarity to advance your goals. And today, we're tackling a thought-provoking theme. It's called the dual nature of relationships. We'll explore how sometimes those closest to us can lead us astray, drawing on biblical examples to shed light on this complex relationship. Let's start with a familiar story from the New Testament. Peter, one of Jesus' closest disciples, is often seen as a pillar of faith. Yet there is a moment that stands out, a moment that shocks us. Well, at least I know it shocked me when I first read it. When Jesus refers to Peter, as Satan. A shocker, I tell you. I have thought on this statement for a long time, and I had a very hard time understanding why Jesus would refer to his dear friend as Satan, especially since it wasn't apparent, to me anyway, it wasn't apparent that he had said or he had done anything satanic. But now that I understand it, it's mind-blowing. This is what happened. Jesus has just revealed that he must suffer and die. Peter, filled with the desire to protect his friend, rebukes Jesus, saying, "Never, Lord, this shall never happen to you." And how does Jesus respond? "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." Wow. And wow. It still shocks me even as I say it and read it now. What was it about Peter's response that upset Jesus so much that he referred to him as Satan? This moment highlights a crucial lesson, which is this. Sometimes our friends can unintentionally, right, without intending to, they can become our adversaries, especially when they let their personal feelings overshadow the greater mission. Peter's intentions were good. He loved Jesus. But love, when misdirected, can become a barrier to progress. So Jesus was on a mission. But his friend said, "Nope, not on my watch. That shall not happen." And at that particular moment in time, perhaps not all the other times, but at that moment, he was an enemy to the mission. You know what? Let's do this. I want to make sure you really get it. Let's place Peter and Judas's roles side by side and see something just incredible. Judas is often labeled the ultimate betrayer because, well, that's what he did, right? But let's consider the other side of his betrayal. Consider this. Judas was an integral part of Jesus' mission. He facilitated the events that led to the crucifixion, which paradoxically was essential. The crucifixion was essential for the fulfillment of Jesus' purpose on the earth. In this sense, and in this sense only, Judas was, in a way, more aligned with Jesus' ultimate mission than Peter was at that moment in time. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not in any way excusing what Judas did. Don't miss the point. The point is this. Just as a personal friend can become an enemy to your advancement, in the same way, a personal enemy can actually be a friend to your cause. An enemy may be pushing you in the direction that God is already pulling you in. And a friend may be pulling you in the opposite direction to the one that God is pulling you in. And this leads us to a powerful takeaway. Our personal friends can sometimes become professional enemies. They might love us and want to protect us, but if they don't share or understand our vision, they can unintentionally hold us back. A personal friend, but an enemy to progress and achievement. I sense that was a light bulb moment for somebody. Your friends are not always friends to your mission, to your dreams, to your goals. There are particular moments when friends can unintentionally hinder your progress and block your blessing. So stay woke, not just around your enemies, but around your friends too, because that's where bad habits and poor group mindsets are formed. And that's where they are sustained. And that's where they tend to slip in and slip through without being noticed, because your guard is generally low around your friends. I hope this is a blessing to somebody. Let's bring this idea to a broader context. The biblical story of Adam and Eve is another striking example. Eve, who was influenced by the serpent, influenced Adam to make a decision that altered the course of humanity. But watch this. Who was Eve to Adam? Was she an enemy? No. Eve was Adam's wife, his very personal friend. I mean, it doesn't get more personal than that, does it? She unintentionally, she didn't mean to, she didn't know better, but it doesn't change the fact that she compromised, to put it lightly, she compromised Adam's destiny, literally causing his death. The question is, what dreams, what aspirations, what habits do you wish to develop that your friends are killing? Unintentionally so, but causing death nonetheless. In what areas are your good friends enemies? It's critical to recognize that familiarity can breed complacency. We often let our guard down around friends, which can cloud our judgment. Think about your own life. How often have you been swayed by a friend's opinion, even when it contradicted your values or your goals? The Bible is full of these examples, but so is the world. It doesn't matter who you take. King Solomon, for example, known for his wisdom, yet it was his friendships that became a stumbling block, demonstrating that even the wisest can fall when surrounded by the wrong influences. And wisdom, by the way, wisdom is not in your thinking. You are not wise in your thinking. You are not wise in your sayings. You are only wise in your doing. Wisdom is an action word. Put another way, you can think wise thoughts and you can say wise things, but you are not wise if you don't act in line with the wise things you know or you say. That's a lesson for another day, but yes, that was just a side note. So, what can we learn from these stories? First, it's vital to surround ourselves with friends who support our growth and align with our values. But we still need to stay woke and stay vigilant, especially around those we are close to. It's essential to discern when a friend's advice is rooted in the light of the truth of the word, or when it's merely a projection of their fears or their desires or their interests. Remember that just because someone is a friend doesn't mean they are a partner in your journey, and it doesn't make them wrong. It just means they're not a partner in your journey. And if we're mature about it, then it shouldn't be that much of a big deal. We can appreciate that friendship while also being aware of the potential pitfalls. Now let's look at the flip side. Let's take a moment to reflect on the complex nature of our relationships, especially in the workplace. We often find ourselves frustrated by certain individuals, be it a challenging boss, a difficult colleague, or even a client who seems to just drag us down. But instead of letting resentment build, I encourage you to take a step back and ask yourself, who am I becoming? Or what skills am I developing as a result of this relationship? Think about it. Those frustrating interactions can teach us invaluable lessons. Are you becoming more resilient as you navigate these challenges? Are you developing greater emotional intelligence as you learn to manage your reactions and responses? These enemies, in quotes, can sometimes serve as unintentional catalysts for professional growth. Now compare that with friends who often seem to lift you up but may also hold you back. Picture a friend who's always ready to buy you a drink, to indulge in gossip, or to encourage you to take the easy way out. While their intentions may be good, I mean, after all, who doesn't want a supportive friend, right? So while their intentions may be good, their influence can inhibit your growth. One critical aspect of our relationships, especially with familiar people, is how they can keep us stuck in our past performance, keep us performing the same way we did, the same way we always have. Familiarity can create a comfort zone that feels safe, but can also be limiting. Think about it. Friends and family who know us well might unconsciously reinforce our past selves, making it challenging for us to grow or change, even if we wanted to. This is often captured in the saying, a prophet is without honor in his own hometown. Those closest to us may not see our potential because they're too familiar with us, with our flaws and with our failures, right? This illustrates how familiarity can breed complacency. When those around us don't recognize our growth or the skills we have to offer, it can hinder our progress. We might find ourselves doubting our capabilities because those we trust most aren't encouraging us to step into our full potential. So it's essential to be aware of these dynamics in our relationships because sometimes we need to seek external perspectives or mentors who can recognize our worth and help us push beyond our limitations. But as we wrap up today's discussion, I encourage you to reflect on your own relationships. Are there friends who, though well meaning, might be leading you away from your goals? Conversely, are there acquaintances who might support your mission, even if they are not in your inner circle? Consider the example of Jesus, Peter, and Judas. Peter, who loved Jesus and sought to protect him, was called a stumbling block. His friendship, while well intentioned, became a barrier to the mission. In contrast, Judas, seen as the ultimate betrayer, played a necessary role in fulfilling that mission. This teaches us that sometimes personal enemies can actually advance our purpose, while close friends can unintentionally hinder it. So let's not forget the impact of our environment. A toxic boss may push us hard, challenging us in ways that are so uncomfortable but necessary for our development. You might dread those demanding interactions, yet they may be the very things cultivating strength and resilience that you didn't even know you had. So, this brings us to a crucial realization that not everything that feels good is good, and not everything that feels bad is bad. I mean, having a whole tub of ice cream may feel good, but is it good? Similarly, working out in the gym may feel bad, especially for someone just starting out, but is it bad? So while those friends may provide comfort, they can also prevent you from developing the muscles you need to stand on your own. And your difficult manager, who's like a thorn in your flesh, a pain, they may be just what you need to grow. So consider your relationships with friends who keep you in your comfort zone. Are you becoming complacent, relying on their support instead of developing your own independence? This duality is something we must recognize. Just as a friend can hold you back, a so called enemy can propel you forward. So I invite you to take an honest inventory of your relationships. Ask yourself, with that challenging boss, what skills are you gaining? How are you growing? And with that friend who always wants to party, what behaviors are you adopting? Are they enhancing or detracting from your well being? Embracing this duality means recognizing that growth often comes from discomfort. The very people who frustrate you could be shaping you into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Conversely, those who bring you joy and comfort could be stunting your growth if you rely on them too heavily. And as we close today, remember that every relationship has two sides. Embrace the challenges and learn from them. And also be mindful of the influences that may be holding you back. Life is a journey of learning, and understanding the dual nature of your relationships can help you navigate it more effectively. Thank you for joining me today on Mind Gym. Keep reflecting on your relationships, stay resilient, and remember, growth often lies in the most unexpected places. Until next time, treat your mindset like your life depends on it, because it does.